Hi traders, Nathan Bray here from ACY Securities. Well, we've got an interesting market at the moment. We've got bond yields rising. We've got stock markets going through to all-time highs. We've got the US dollar extremely bullish at the moment, and of course gold going through to all-time highs. So the questions I'm getting from clients at the moment is, if they're in these long positions, where do I take profit? What signs do I look for? Or if I want to go counter trend and try and identify a correction, to look for counter trend trades, so reversals, folks. That's what it's called. We need to look for reversals. Now, this can come in changes to the fundamentals of the market. For example, rates being cut or inflation being tamed. We can get these bigger drivers, but what we're going to trying to do right now is finesse the market. So we're going to look at price action. So let's go in and take a look. We'll look at the US dollar strength and see where perhaps we get a reversal where it might encourage us to take profit out of a trade, or look to go counter trend. What do reversal signs look like on the charts? And we'll have a look at gold, we'll have a look at the overall indices stock markets, but let's start, of course, with this euro against the US dollar.
Okay, traders, so we're looking at the euro dollar on a daily chart, and clearly it's in an uptrend with some resistance up around 112. Okay, so I'm looking at this on a day-to-day basis and moving through and saying, okay, where am I going to see a reversal sign? So at the moment, we're not really seeing a great deal of strong reversal signals, and prices continuing in this uptrend. You'll see here, yes, we do get a break above this previous daily resistance. Could it be putting in a lower top? Again, potentially. But if we move forward, the next day it actually closes above this level. So we would say the trend is still going up. So the question becomes, what do I need to see, or what can, using our candlestick charting, what could give us a sign perhaps that a reversal might be occurring? So I'm just going to show you this example here, which only happened a few weeks ago. And this was the first sign for me. So we've got this resistance at 112.01, and price tried to get above there, but actually reversed. And the sellers took control, pushing price back down. So for me, that is one sign to say that maybe we could be getting a reversal, but one day doesn't make a trend reversal, does it? So we're still looking at this and saying, well, the next day it could move back up. There's no real clear sign here. So as I move across again, guess what happens? Price is moving back up. I'm looking for price to retest. And in one sense, I'm looking for a potential lower top to form, or in this case, I'm looking for this level to be respected. So as we move higher again, you start to see that occurring. See how previously it broke above, and now all of a sudden we're seeing that this level is in fact being respected on a day-to-day basis now. So what we're looking at is saying, well, maybe the buyers aren't that interested as they were previously, and maybe the sellers are taking control. And in this case, it puts in a potentially definitely a lower top, but we don't have that lower bottom close yet. So that to me is a really good sign. The other thing I could look at is for signs of a reversal. One of the things I really like is using my MACD and using the idea of convergence, and in this case, divergence. So how do we read that? Well, I just get my trend line and I look at the fact that this top is actually lower technically than this top, because price did get above it, and I can draw that in and I can see that this one is higher than this one. However, when I look at the MACD, and that's giving me an indication of, once you smooth out all the, perhaps this is just an anomaly, I see down the bottom here that when price crosses down here, rather than being lower, it's actually higher than when price crosses down again. So let's just draw that on. So this cross down is in fact higher than this one that is just crossing down right now. Yet on the chart, it's actually higher. That's an indication of divergence and showing us that perhaps it's running out of steam. So is it a guarantee? Of course not. But when you are trading, you're looking for signs for the market. I call it hopium. Show me some reason, okay, and that's in conjunction with a couple of other confluences to say that price could be reversing. Now, keep in mind that all resistance is made to be broken. So it's not a fait accompli to say, oh, just because it's reaching a resistance, it's going to reverse. So we need a little bit more than that. And when I'm looking at this, I'm saying, okay, that's a sign. The fact that it's not closing above this previous resistance and it keeps failing 1, 2, now 3 times. So yes, it could be consolidating before breaking higher, but this is the sort of sign I'm looking for. And as I move across again, we start to actually put in a lower bottom. Okay, so we've now got lower top, lower bottom. If we drew a trend line in here, which I'll do for you just now, you get the idea that we've got a trend line break on this candle. We've got it failing at this resistance 3 times now, and we've also got what we call a divergence on our MACD. So that's the type of thing I'll look at and say that to me now confirms the possibility of a reversal. And this is in a very recent example. And you'll see from there, price, when it gets rejected and you get a few reasons, then you might be able to say, all right, I'll put in a sell trade then. This move higher could be receding. Okay, the question then is how far? We don't know, but we are looking to identify a change of potentially a change of trend. On the daily trend it is, because it's actually taken out previous daily bottoms, okay, and it's put in lower top, lower bottom. So we are getting that change of trend. But of course, the question becomes for how long? And we don't know that, but we can identify the change here. So as price moves down, and it moves down dramatically too, by the way. It goes down pretty heavily. But I want to come back and look at this idea in reverse. So this has only just happened a couple of days ago, just before the US election and NFP. So this previous, both a weekly and a significant daily level of support down here around, 107.75, 107.80 type level. Okay, we see prices heading down. There's no real chance of a reversal. And yes, this day we do actually get price very similar to up here, but in reverse. So price tries to get below this significant level of support at 107.77. How good? So that's the first sign. So then we go, okay, this could be, it could be just stalling temporarily, but I'm looking for signs that it is reversing. So then I move across again. Okay, we get a day up. That's great. Price comes back down, very similar to what we were seeing at the top here. So I'm looking at that and saying to myself, are we getting a sign of a potential reversal? Now, is it putting in a higher bottom? We don't know, so we keep going day by day. And boom, there it is there. So now I'm looking at it in a different phase. I'm saying, yes, we saw price never actually closed the day below this significant support level. We started to see this liquidity zone clear out all the sellers. And obviously some buying power came in. Why? Because when it did get back down to the support level a few days later, the sellers weren't able to push it down as far as they did a few days before. So putting in a higher bottom. And now we're looking at it saying, well, now it's putting in a higher top. So very similar to what we were looking at the top, we're now seeing at the bottom. Now, will that continue? Down at this bottom too, let's zoom in. I'll move it to a 4-hour, because this is the other time frame I'll look at. Because if we look at the chart moving down, price is literally, let me just clarify that. So when price is moving down, It rallies, but only very temporarily. Doesn't change structure before it falls all the way back down again. And then the old floor acts as a roof and price falls back down again. We never end up in a scenario where these previous floors are broken. Okay. It's like price is rallying back up to that point. And that structure shows a really strong downtrend. So the question then is, where is this going to stop? Right? It just keeps going down. There's no real signs here. Like if I was looking at this, I'd be saying this is now going to, based on previous structure, just going to keep trending down again. And of course it does. And then it comes down to this support level. And then it breaks through that. Okay, so you start to get the idea. There's no real sign to show me that there could be the potential for a change in this current trend. Now we're down at that significant level. So this is that 107.77, previous daily and weekly support level that we're looking at. And suddenly, as I move across, we finally, on a 4-hour chart, actually get price break the structure. Okay, so does that mean you're suddenly going to be a buyer? Of course not. But we are starting to see signs that it may be stalling. Like this amazing sell-off may be actually coming to either temporarily stall or may lead to a reversal. So let's keep going. So price definitely broke that structure now. It's moving higher. And then we go back down, and this is what I really like. We suddenly get that higher bottom level. See this bottom? Now we're getting price come back down and hold at this level. It's false broken this level. So this is what I'm looking for. If I get a break of this top, now even on the 4-hour, we're actually getting higher bottom, higher top formation. And that to me could then show signs. The question then becomes, well, how far is it going to reverse? Is it even worth trading? We don't know that. But we can finally, after watching this move all the way down on the 4-hourly, I can say, okay, the buyers are willing to pay more and the sellers aren't continuing to muscle and control this trade all the way down. Now, if we move forward, we then get a break above, previous levels, etc., and higher bottom form. Then you'll see here now we can say, okay, it's definitely triggering into an uptrend. So two things I'd look at is major support or resistance levels, okay, and looking for changes of direction and marking your lines in the sand in effect by saying, okay, what do I need to see to suggest it could be possible? Okay, so now I want to finish off and look at gold because gold, it's at all-time highs. Gold does not have any major support or resistance levels to use. Okay, so what do I need to see using that same logic? One argument in the office here, one of the very astute account managers, Otto, was telling me that, maybe it's really overextended. And you can measure that, for example, using your fib tool. Like there has to come a point where it is overbought potentially. But the question, and that could be one really solid reason. The other reason might be maybe the trend will just continue far beyond what we think is reasonable or overextended. If we look at, say, dollar yen charts over the last few years, we don't expect it. Yes, that is one indication. You could also use, say, Bollinger Bands and look at really overbought, oversold ways of looking at it. And the final way I would look at is structurally. So finally last night, price is going up and we get this pullback. Okay, and to me, it isn't taking out this previous low. So I think what I'd be looking at is for price to use a previous lower level of resistance and then break this previous level here. And then we might say, okay, we could be seeing a change, even if it's temporary, a change of trend where we could potentially look for a trade down. But if we look previously, where it broke below the previous low, it only did it temporarily before resuming the trend higher. So sometimes traders can make that mistake where they're so desperate to want to enter a trade that they will start just hoping that they're going to pick a top. And that is the hardest thing to do. Why? Because trends overextend your expectation of where price should be. So therefore, I want to look at really, really obvious signs. So if I can get a lower top, lower bottom structural change formation, and then a lower level, say, of support acts as resistance, then I might be able to look at that and say we could be getting what is potentially a temporary change, or it could be a complete reversal. But they would be the signs I look for. All right, everybody, thank you for your time. And let's hope, those of you long gold, that we never get a reversal and this thing just keeps going higher.
Okay, traders, so I hope you enjoyed some insights there on identifying reversal signals in the market. And of course, I hope you look to use those in your trading strategies. Now, if you want to learn more, we do have our own 30-part trading course. So it is available to all our live registered clients. And of course, it's free to register your account here at ACY. You can also access a couple of our market strategists in the office here at ACY. So Senior Market Strategist Duncan Cooper, he's doing a couple of live webinars a week, and of course does live analysis based on everything taught in that 30-part course. And of course, Luca. So Lucas Santos, he's our technical market analyst, and he's doing webinars on the key drivers in the market as well. So it can be great to get some really good content, to get a bigger overview of what's going on in the market and what could be affecting it for your trades for, say, your week or months ahead. Now, other than that, please join me for our live interactive trading feed. So you can access that by simply emailing me in the description below. It is a live interactive feed that isolates key levels in the market and gives you a description as to why they're key levels, and then sends them out to you, broadcast out live. Please enjoy them, folks, and good luck with your trading.